For today, my goal is to help you over sections 11.4 through 11.7 because there is a quiz on Monday. So we're going to go ahead and talk through some things you're going to need to know for this quiz. The main thing you're going to have to know for your quiz on Monday is a bunch of different formulas. So first up, Gavin, what is the formula for the area of a parallelogram? No, just a parallelogram. Connor, can you help? A equals B times H. All right, that's the first one that we learned last Friday. Next up, Pearson, what is the area of a triangle? Good job. All you're doing is you're multiplying times a half also. So you want to take the area. It equals 1/2 times base times height. Stephen, what's the area of a trapezoid? Who can help him with it?
Oh, wait.
What do you think?
A equals 1/2 times B1 plus B2 times H.
You are correct. All right. For this one, there's two different bases. So we are going to make sure that we are multiplying by both of them. You've got to add B1 plus B2. Hannah, what's the formula for area of a circle? We learned this one yesterday.
Okay, so C equals...
Not C, we're finding area.
Oh, then A equals R... Wait, no. A equals...
All right, excellent. Okay, so one of the things that you want to remember, when it says to find the area, you know it's going to start with an A, okay? Next up, circumference of a circle. What does circumference mean? It means the outside. It's like finding a perimeter, the outside of a circle, okay? The first one is asking for the circumference of a circle with the radius. CJ, do you know what that is?
No, I was going to ask for a calculator.
Who can help us out with the circumference of a circle with a radius?
C equals pi times R.
Not just pi times r.
C equals 2 pi R... Wait, 2... Yeah.
Oops. Yes, C equals 2 times pi times r, okay? Because remember, the radius is exactly half of what the diameter is. Final one, guys. What's the circumference of a circle with the diameter?
C equals pi times D.
C equals pi times d. That is correct, all right? Any questions about those formulas? Please make sure that you memorize those. All right, find the area of the triangle. Marcus, what's the formula for area of a triangle? Good job. A equals 1/2 times base times height. Since I'm trying to find the area, I'm just going to drop that down with my equal sign. Deasia, what do I do next? Okay, so all you're doing is you're plugging in the base and plugging in your height. I want you guys to stick that in your calculator. And what do you get for your area?
120 feet squared.
All right, why did you have to say squared feet?
Because we're finding the area.
Anytime the answer is asking you for the area, you always want to square it. So great job remembering that. Any questions on how to do number 2? This one says to find the unknown base or height of the triangle. So, Kyla, what formula am I going to use?
A equals 1/2 times B times E.
Excellent job, Kay. We see here that we're dealing with an area and we know the shape is a triangle. So she found the formula that's for area of a triangle. Now we're just going to plug in the things that we know. Jaden, tell me what to do. You plug in the 45 for A. Very good job, okay? Because we don't know the base, we just keep it as B. On the left-hand side of the equal sign, is there any work to be done? No, I just dropped down the 45. On the right side, is there any work to be done?
Yes.
What do I need to do?
Multiply 1/2 times 15.
Multiply 1/2 times 15. What is half of 15? 7.5. Do I drop anything else down?
B.
No.
Yes, because we have an unknown variable right there. We have to drop down the variable. Remember, the whole goal when I do this is to what? Get the variable by itself. Gavin, how do I do that?
So you need to, divide 7.5 and divide by 45 and then okay.
Okay, we're dividing both sides by 7.5. That's going to cancel out. I'm still left with b on this side, so I drop down the b. And when you work this out, what do you get? 6 what? Okay. All right, why do I not square the units?
Because you're not finding the area.
I'm only finding the base. I'm not trying to find the area. Okay? Thank you, Gavin, for your help. For the next one, it asks us to find the circumference. Remind me again, what does circumference mean? Okay, so we're just trying to figure out what the distance is around that circle, okay? So should I use a formula that starts with a C or with an A?
C.
A C, because it asked me to find circumference. So what's the formula I need to know for circumference when I have, is this right here my radius or my diameter?
Radius.
Radius, because it's only half. So what's the formula, guys?
C equals 2 times pi times r.
C equals 2 times pi times r. I'm trying to find my circumference. What will I plug in for my pi?
3.14.
All right, it asks us to do 3.14. And Darcy, what's my radius? 7 is correct. Now you can see we're trying to find the C, and all you have to do is multiply all those numbers together, and that's going to help you with what the circumference is. Stephen, what is my circumference? Okay, very good job. 43.96 what? Centimeters. Okay, so be careful. The reason why he got a different answer right here is because instead of putting 3.14, he just chose to keep it as pi. But be careful, because the instructions asked us to use 3.14 for pi. You've got to do that instead of plugging in the pi, because otherwise it'll switch up your answer. This one is asking us to find the area of the circle, and once again we're going to use 3.14 for pi and round to the nearest tenth. So Pearson, what's the formula I want to start with? A equals pi times r squared. Pearson, will you keep going for us? What should I do? Excellent. What's next? No, because A, my variable, is already by itself. So I don't need to do any work on the left side. Instead, I would want to just do some work over there on the right side. Excellent job. We want to do the square first, because in PEMDAS, it's P for parentheses and then E for exponents, okay? So what would your exponents come out as, Pearson? Very good job. And then now we can go ahead and multiply that out to find our answer. Okay, and then we want to round it to the nearest tenth, so what would that be? 5.3. And what are my units? Inches squared. Good job. Remember, because we're finding the area, you want to square the inches. Great job. Find the diameter and the radius of the circle. Use 3.14 for pi. Let's start off with, what's the shape we're talking about?
Circle.
A circle. So, because we know we're dealing with a circle, there are 3 different formulas we can use. 1 with area and 2 with circumference. Looking at this problem, do you think I want a formula that has area or circumference in it? Area. It's very obvious, and here's why. Look what it says right there. It's like it's screaming at you saying, use the area formula. Okay, so what's the area formula for a circle?
Area of the circle. A equals pi times r squared.
A equals pi times r squared. Okay, Maddox, what should I plug in first?
So 254.34 equals 3.14 times r squared.
You are correct. Good job. Okay, so notice he plugged in the A that we learned at the beginning, where the A goes, and he replaced pi with 3.14. Now, my goal is always to get what by itself?
The r.
The r, or the variable. What's not allowing it to be alone?
3.14 and the squared.
3.14 and the square. Which one goes first?
3.14.
Always 3.14. Okay, so let's go ahead and divide it by 3.14 on both sides. We know it cancels out on the right. And Taylor, what drops down on the right-hand side? R squared. Very good job. Thank you for remembering. It is R squared that's still there, not just an R. And then, guys, what's the answer on the left?
81.
81.
81.
Is that my answer?
No.
Why not?
Square.
You have to square it.
I have to square root it so I can get rid of that square over there, and I've got to do that to both sides. So this cancels out, and on that side, all that's left is just an R equals what, guys?
9.
Thank you for giving me units attached, 9 feet. Now, the instructions ask me to find diameter and radius. Raise your hand if you can tell me how to find the diameter if I know the radius. Just double it, okay? Because the radius is always going to be half, so you double it. What's the answer? 18 feet equals the radius. Please make sure that you show me which one is radius and which one is diameter. This one is not a formula that we had at the very beginning, but we want to find the perimeter and the area of the parallelogram. So what is the formula for perimeter of a parallelogram? Not A equals.
P. Oh, P equals 2 times L plus 2 times L.
Okay, remember, whenever asked for perimeter, you're going to start with a P right there, okay? Let me have Stephen help us out. What does perimeter mean? Okay, very good. Thank you for helping him. It is the outside part of the parallelogram. You're simply trying to figure out the area around it like a fence, okay? So, Stephen, what is my length? Okay, Carson, will you help him?
8 feet.
All right. The length is going to be the long part of the outside edge, all right? Plus the width. Carson, what's my width?
4 feet.
4 feet. All right, be careful. A lot of times people will try to use that one as their width. What is that one?
That's the height.
That's the height. How can you tell if it's the height?
Because it's going up and down.
Because it makes a right angle, all right, with the base. Let's go on. What is 2 times 8?
16.
What's 2 times 4? 8. Add those together and what do you get?
24 feet.
24 feet. All right, am I finished?
Yes.
No.
What else does it ask us to find?
Area.
Area. Just the boys. What is the formula for area of a parallelogram?
A equals B times A.
Excellent. Deasia, do it for me, please. A lot of times when we think of the base, we think of the bottom. But just remember, the base is what's also forming the right angle with the height. So what do you think my base is?
8.
Okay, it is 8. Remember what we know right here. This is parallel with this. So this is also the base down there. Okay? Times what? 5. How do you know that that's the height? Because it forms the right angle with the base. Okay? Very good job. And Deasia, what's my answer? How many? You are correct. 40 feet squared. For this one, we're going to find the area of the trapezoid. Connor, what is the formula?
A equals 1/2 times B1 plus B2 times 8.
Excellent job. Okay, guys, we're finding the area. What is base 1?
4.
All right. It doesn't matter which one you choose. I typically choose the top one. And then what's base 2?
7.
Correct. It's going to be those two that are parallel with each other. And girls, what's my height? 6. What should I do first? We're going to go ahead and do the parentheses first. What's 4 plus 7?
11.
11. And then bring down your 6. When you multiply 1/2 times 11 times 6, what do you get?
33.
3 inches squared.
33 inches squared is correct. Great job. All right, we only have one problem left on our review sheet. I want you guys to go ahead and try this on your own. Find the unknown base or the height of the trapezoid. Let's start with our trapezoid formula, which is
1/2 times A
Everyone say it together. A equals 1/2 times B1 plus B2 times H. What's my area? 180. Drop down your half. What's my B1? We don't know it yet. What's B2? What's my height? Okay, drop down the equal sign. Let's talk about the left of the equal sign. Is there anything I can do? No, so what do I do? Drop it down. On the right-hand side, we always deal with the parentheses first and the work inside. Can I do any work inside there? No. So let's go outside the parentheses. Can I do any work there? Yes, what can I do? You have to multiply 1/2 times 9. What is half of 9? 4.5 or 4.5. Now, drop down that B1 plus 26. And please make sure you still keep it in parentheses. This is where a lot of people messed up. If that was you, go ahead and erase what you had on your paper. Okay? What do I want to get rid of?
4.5.
What should I do to it? Divide both sides by 4.5. This cancels out. What drops down on the right side?
B plus 26.
Okay, I'm still dropping down base 1 plus 26. Then, what is 180 divided by 4.5? 40. How many of you have got this far?
Me.
All right. How do I get B1 by itself?
Subtract 26 on both sides.
Quite a few people were trying to divide 26. Why should I subtract it?
Because it's a positive number.
Okay, this right here was a positive 26. I was adding 26, so you have to do the opposite, which is minus 26. So over here, this cancels out, which tells us our answer, base 1, is
14 feet.
14 feet.
You know what?
All right, so I hope that helped you guys a little bit, but listen, the main thing that you need to do is memorize your formulas. If you memorize your formulas, you will do much better on this quiz on Monday.